Word nerds, visualize your vocabulary. Let's get to start with. First off, I have a few words in mind that I can think of. Reprove. Reprove just basically means you're doing the wrong thing that you should probably not be doing. And of course, you're also telling that person that they're doing wrong. You're castigating that person. You are going ahead and criticizing that person, which works out pretty well. And of course, the word that you use to go ahead and remember this is the poof. Yeah, here's how you do it. The picture is this. You reproving castigate. You're reproving a child. Actually, that child needs reprobation. So the fairy comes in, and as soon as she comes in and reproves him, he goes ahead and castigates him and poofs away. Next up, we have factious. Factious just basically means it's mutinous. Like, people are going against your will. They're going against everything. That works out. And of course, the synonym to this is mutinous. And our antonym is, the word that you use to remember this is tax us. We are mutinous. We are factious. And don't you dare tax us with unfair taxation. Oh, we will be factious. That works out really well. Next up, we have tedious. Now, tedious just basically means something that you keep on doing, so it's apparently very, very boring. And of course, you remember this with TDS. How does this work? And how do you even use the word TDS here? You saw Tom Sawyer had a hard time whitewashing all those gates, eh? Well, think about this. You have to whitewash TDS, a bunch of T's, a bunch of D's, and a bunch of S's forever, ever, ever. And then, after that, you have to go ahead and do that all over again. And after that, you have to do that again, you have to do that again, and you do that again for an infinite amount of times for an infinite amount of work. Hey, at least your salary is an infinite amount of dollars per year. Next up, we have prefectory. Now, prefectory just basically means mechanical. It's not like you do it because you want to do it. You do it because you're just assigned to do it, which a lot of people think service is, except sometimes service, you actually want to do service to do that. Alright, so of course, you're perfunctory. Perfunctory here is the synonym is mechanical. And of course, since this is mechanical, it's done without thinking. And you use the word perfect tree to actually remember this. Alright. Perfunctory and mechanical, perfect tree. The person who has graded every Christmas tree for Christmas has been doing this for 50 years. Now, he just does a perfunctory. He's lost the love of doing it. So now he just goes ahead and you can already see him ticking off the boxes without thinking and like, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's lame. Even though it's the best one in the world. Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. Alright. And that's the winner of the competition. And the competition's winner is Mr. Lanquinacia. What? She barely has a tree! So sad. But my word final. That's it. Sorry. Bye. Get someone new if you don't like it. Next, we have malaise. Malaise, malaise. Of course, malaise here. The sentence is uneasy. When you're malaise, you're uneasy. Like, look at this. You remember it with the word my legs. My legs, spelled L-A-Y-G-S. L-A-Y-G-S. The best shooter in town comes in. The quickest shooter in town comes in and challenges the old champion of the best shooter in town. He goes ahead, does all this, and he's like, I challenge you. And then he goes ahead and becomes has some malaise legs, so he falls down with unease and says, oh no, my legs. Next up, we have impute. Now, impute here just basically means a credit. When you're imputing someone, that just basically means you're blaming it on someone else. A little fairy puts out some gas and then accredited you. This little imp has went ahead that things that you should probably not do, and everyone's looking at you. It's like, what do you mean I did it? I didn't do it. It's that imp. What imp? You're a stupid person the last time I checked. That works. Alright, next up we have syntax. Now, syntax here just basically means order. And you use the word 10 tax to do this. Now you're in the show of 10 tax. Welcome, welcome. Now you have these 10 tax, and you have the chance to win $100,000. And after he goes ahead and does all these 10 tax and gets them all out, she goes ahead, creates the card picture, and they're like, aha, you did it just in time, miss. Here's $1 billion at your service. Aha. With that, you get everything that works out really well. All right, next up, we have hyperbole. Hyperbole here, it just basically means an exaggerated thing. Of course, the synonym to this is overstatement. That works. And since this is an overstatement, you can do a way lot more than that. And you remember this with the word diaper bullying. Now, I have this friend who exaggerates a lot too much, and he goes ahead and said, welcome to that, you should probably go to that place it's called diaper bullying, where all the babies out there wearing diapers and doing things and bowling, and they're like, alright, I'll go. This should be interesting. See, he goes in and realizes it's not called diaper bowling, it's called pee-wee bowling. Also, yes, they're kids, but they're not young, but they're too old for diapers. Next up, we have opprobrious. Now, opprobrious here just basically means you're going ahead and criticizing things, you're being ubiquitous, you're being nasty, you're being stupid. And of course, it's just that one person who goes ahead and complains too much about everyone. So you go ahead and talk to some people. Let me make an example first. Alright, here. You'll sit next to an opprobrious person who's very hateful. By the way, that's a synonym to opprobrious. And they go ahead and has to criticize everyone who does not look like them at all. Man, you should wear some clothes instead of painted on clothes. Wow, that's a great way. That's a great way to use an old paintbrush. Get it? Opprobrious, old paintbrush? Yeah, that's how you memorize it. Old paintbrush. Use an image. Make a picture. It lasts longer. Next up, we have ubiquitous. Now, ubiquitous here just basically means omnipresent. You can see everything, you can feel everything, you know everything. You're basically God of this place. And of course, the synonym to this is, of course, omnipresent. And what word do you use to remember this? It means ubiquita. So there's this sergeant who shouts at everyone and says, if you quit, I will give you 5 million years in jail. And he goes ahead, does that, and he realizes something. One of the rookies come in and says, sir, I quit. I can't do the obstacle course, and you're shouting this too much. The army isn't for me. You be quitter, they say. All right, next up we have nettle. Now, nettle here just basically means disturb. You're disturbing things, and of course, the word that you use to remember this is medal. Now you won the medal eating competition, sir. Here's your prize. And smile. I can't really be proud in pain because this is so irritating. The nettle medal. Ugh. Yeah, of course you use the word medal to memorize this. Ha ha ha. Now next up we have remunerative. Not remunerative. Remunerative here just basically means, well, beneficial. When something's remunerative to you, it just basically means it's beneficial to you. Look at everyone. So, you're at a wine tasting event. You're at a wine and cheese tasting event, and you got everyone some wine, and you're the host. You go ahead, and you realize there's this old woman with this new kind of cheese, and every time someone brings her cheese and cracker, she flicks off the cheese with like, yes, no cheese except mine, and puts on golden whipped cheese. And they're like, tasty. And the host realizes how remunerative this could be if he owned that cheese, and gets his lowlings, his servants, to do the dirty work of remove her whip. What whips her? Whipped cream! Yeah, that works out really well. Next up, we have abstract. Here, abstract, it just basically means indefinite. So that works. When something's abstract, it's unknowable, it's indefinite, those kinds of things. And of course, you use the word abstract to actually remember this word really well. That works out really well for me. Next up, we have, alright, so you don't have any abs, and the idea of abs is abstract to this stupid abstract mind. And of course, with that stupid abstract mind, you go ahead and realize something that hasn't really worked out really well. So it's abstract, and you just realize that maybe you just strap some abs on you, you have some abs strapped on you, and it's, well, a bit more clear now. Isn't that good? Alright, next up, we have mendacious. Mendacious here just basically means dishonest. And of course, the word that you use to remember this is Menday shop, Menday shift. So, all elf meeting, December 23rd, 6 p.m. in the toy shop. Cookies plus Coco, Willie. And with that, we have a few things to actually say. Indefinite, abstract, you take it. So you have this indefinite kinds of things, mendacious things, where everyone seems to be here. And you realize something that works out really badly. Now, here's the example. At the North Pole, there are 2 work shifts. The men go ahead and do the day shift. and the women, the girl elves, do the night shift. And so a deceitful woman decides to go ahead, puts on a deceitful disguise so that she can do the elves' men's day shift. And of course, it's pretty suspicious. It's fraudulent. Next up, we have temerity. Now, temerity just basically means nerve. You have the nerve to do, you have that much nerve to do that, you idiot. Yeah, that works out really well. Here, you use the word temerity to actually remember it. Alright, temerity, nerve. What can I say? Here we go. You know, there's this other guy named Stephen A. Douglas who actually could have married Todd Lincoln before she married Abraham Lincoln. Well, you better think so, because he did. In this picture, you see the news of Mary Lincoln and Abraham Lincoln's betrothal are happening. So he goes ahead and decides to write to Mary T. so that she can reconsider, quit Abraham Lincoln, and marry him. Why would she quit the president for a lowly writer? I don't know. Next up, we have vacillate. Now here, when you're vacillating, it just works out. It just basically means you're wavering in your mind, your opinions. It's indecisive, irresolute, and of course, the synonym to this is hesitate, because of course the word that you use to remember this is tacillate. So you're in charge of selecting the cap and gown colors and designs for this year's gardening class at your school, eh? Well, the cap and gown is easy, but there are 8 choices for tassel with varying designs. You can't make your mind up with which one to do, on which of the tassel 8 to select. Should you pick the solid color? Should you pick the tricolor with the metal rim? Or should you go ahead and hesitate and waver? And you just go ahead, hesitate and waver until you resort to choosing by eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Yes, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You! Wait, stop. You have the deal. Next up, Machiavellian. Now, if you don't remember this, I did a review of Machiavelli's The Prince book once, where it just basically talks about where you go ahead and go in politics and think that it's way better than moral rights. You do it without thinking of any moral features, those kinds of things. And of course, you go ahead and do all this weirdly. So a Machiavellian person is possibly a person who's plotting to overthrow things. And then then the word that you use to remember all this is monkey, is alien. How do I do this? Well, you're at a costume party, and the one dressed up as a monkey is actually an alien. He goes ahead and shifts his mask just enough so that people can see his eyes, and that just tells them to quietly leave the building and go into the UFO. And then you go ahead and shout, Machiavellian monkey! Monkey is alien! Monkey is alien! Like, kill the alien! Destroy all aliens! So with that, we go ahead and destroy all aliens. Alright. Next up, we have epiphany. Epiphany just basically means a realization. You just realize where this happens. And of course, you go ahead and remember piff on me with this. So you have a bunch of piff peanuts on you, and you just accidentally squash them, and you turn into peanut butter. And you're like, wait, so this is... So you just suddenly have an epiphany, a realization of where peanut butter comes from. It comes from piff. It comes from piff on me. It comes from piff on me jars. Next up, we have reprehensible. When something's reprehensible, that just basically means it's culpable. It's stupid. You have done something extremely stupid. You're deserving of reproof. You're deserving of revenge of the person. You're deserving of a rebuke. And of course, you should probably not do this at all. Don't you dare slap a cow's butt. You use the word wrap your hand against the rule to remember this. Alright, so this works out really well. Reprehensible. So you're deserving of reproof, of rebuke, or censure. Now, don't you dare wrap your hand against the bull, and it bends you over its knee and punishes you for commendable and very bad behavior. It's reprehensible, eh? And now, last but not least, we have extraneous. Extraneous here just basically means unnecessary. You were born unnecessary, and you remember it with extra knees. Alright, you were born with some extra knees. It does nothing. It doesn't help you walk. It doesn't help you do 360-degree 8s. It doesn't help you run faster. In fact, it's so useless. However, they don't bend but look like they could. However, they don't belong, but they are there to sit. So if you go ahead and your current job doesn't really work out really well, well, you could always join the circus. Eh? Well, then again, you are a freak here. So that's it for today. I really hope you guys actually did enjoy. Word nerds! Visualize your vocabulary. Make a picture of it. It'll last longer. And so, until next time, my little fans out there. I'll see you guys then. Bye! Wear a helmet, wear a helmet,